No, he said he'd be here. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Friday's Marketing Happy Hour. I hope you're all happy. I'm Dr. Christopher Vogelmann. Am I a co-owner? I'm sort of the creative genius of Maximize Your Media, our digital agency that focuses mostly on Pinterest and Facebook, and also the head of Life Beyond Practice, which is the coaching group for doctors that teaches them to have more fun, free time, and freedom by getting their own online business, either as a primary or secondary source of revenue. And with me over there is...
What's up, guys? I was a little late on the draw there. Hey, I was still thinking about that creative genius thing. I was thinking I'm gonna steal that for everything. Like creative when I make lunch, lunch for the kids, I'm the creative genius behind lunch.
No, if I'm making lunch for the family, I am a sandwich artist who's also a creative genius.
I'm Kam Fatz, aka Kam Jennings, coming at you on behalf of epicconversions.com. Thanks so much for having me, guys. And then below me.
And me.
And them. Hey, it's Troy McDonald with liveeventmarketers.com, which actually takes you to the actual Facebook group with the same name of Live Event Marketers. And it's where we discuss things about live streaming, whether it's, say, podcast or video related to business and marketing. And then we also talk about any technology and things like that you want to talk about regarding live streaming.
This is so cool. And live is where it's at. I think we're all doing a lot of lives these days. Cam had some good ones. In fact, I need to see your last one that Troy recommended to me.
A
couple days ago, I think. Yeah.
That got me going. In fact, I hit Cam up with a message that I told him the very next day. There was another guy out there that was talking about the easy button as well.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, it was Joel. It was actually Joel Urway, and I thought that was kind of interesting, but it just actually got me in my own mind. And it's something actually that I revisit quite often of people in general, how I remember, like back in the day, all of us had like any material we got. Well, first off, it typically was shipped to us, right?
And I always looked forward to those big boxes.
Yeah. But then if you really wanted to master or really know something, you had to actually consume the stuff.
Yeah.
And you had actually pride in what you put out. And so in marketing, I mean, there's nothing nothing wrong with like polishing some statements or, making things a little more exciting, even though it might just be a dull point, but an important point. Right. But what kind of Cam basically called out, even though the title in essence is the easy button, right? Mm-hmm. It's really about truth and honesty in the products that you release and or services. And I just see in general, that there's more of society that does want the easy button. And so we can get easily duped into our own mindset. We want that easy thing, and so we believe that it is that easy. However, if any real studies put into any long-lasting, profitable business, unless it's something like maybe they inherited it and they stepped into something successful, so it's kind of easy for them.
Trust fund baby.
Yeah. So a normal person that's like, I want to start my own business and I want to have something successful. Mm-hmm. Look, man, there's blood, sweat, and tears that goes into it, plain and simple, until you can get it to a point where it's easy, which means you have things in place and you might have like some staff members that help you and things like that. But for you to really build a business and we are talking about actually more virtual type businesses where it's services or information based stuff. So Cam, I'm taking this whole thing. I'm telling you what he talked about. But
tell me a story. Tell me Cam's story all over again.
Well, you know what? I'm going to actually let him, because it's been on my mind. I'm going to let him tell what it was about. But I just I guess the way I look at it is I've just kind of prefaced a little bit about how we can all fall into that, and I can see where people want that. I mean, I see that I've seen a shift go from, where we used to have to really learn and work hard, and people now, and then figure, hey, lifestyle comes from that, learn, work hard, lifestyle. Yeah. Now people are really kind of like, forget the learn, and not even really work hard. They just want to work, okay, whatever that means for them, for the lifestyle. So it's kind of like you've cut out the learning process, and whatever you do for work is really like you want to do that minimally just to maintain actually a growing lifestyle.
Or give me the lifestyle without the work.
Well, there's that, but I'm not even going to touch that because you can't even really do that,
I don't even know if it's just online, really. I kind of wonder if it's just a society thing. It's the things are changing in a way that, makes people just not really value the idea of working hard or learning anything. They just want like quick results. Maybe, I don't know, man. Maybe they see like 7-year-olds on YouTube becoming millionaires doing like toy reviews or something, and they're like, screw this. I just want the quick money.
There's a lot of that. There's this Insta fame. So you can become instantly famous as an influencer. And I'm telling you, even my 13-year-old saying, I'm just going to go on YouTube. I'm going to become a professional YouTuber. And we're like, okay, good luck with that. Maybe you should finish school first. So
yeah. I mean, it's all over. And I think for me, like what bothers me is, okay, so good marketing, right? So let me just define what good marketing is to me. So good marketing is when I have a good product, right? And with my marketing, I want to show people why this is important. I want them to see it, right? And it might not be sexy. It might not be a sexy product, but can I position it in a way to where they see the value in it, right? And that's good marketing, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not good marketing just to say, okay, I know what people want. They want an easy money button. Let me just take the truth of my product, which is a good product. It can get them results. Let me take that truth and let me twist it up so bad to where when it ends up on the sales page, it's not going to look anything like what my actual product is, but it'll sell like hotcakes. And that's okay, right?
How well do hotcakes sell these days?
Oh my gosh, he's already derailing on it. We're on a serious topic, and he's derailing.
I'm just wondering because we use these metaphors all the time. But I mean, I agree with you on that, baby. You like also you may stretch the truth, so it's one tiny line that's you can't read. So
yeah, exactly. Well, it's it's funny because before we jumped on this call, me and Doc were talking about the masks, right? It's not that. It's like people get the truth so confused sometimes, and look, with the masks, it's like, what? Now it's a political statement?
No, I can tell you, I have some ultra-conservative, very far right-wing friends who would not be without their masks. So I can tell you that for a fact.
Yeah, so it's easy to get people confused. And you know what?
They get all riled up, too. So.
It's more of what they want to hear, though, People know what they want is for this whole COVID-19 thing to be fake. They want to not be afraid. They want to not worry about some weird killer virus. Yeah. So they're going to believe, they would love to believe that the masks are unnecessary and, foolish. And if I'm a marketer, it's easy for me to just lie to them to sell my thing if I know what they want.
I could sell them the super duper pooper scooper mask 5,000 signature series and say that this mask is better than anything else that's on the planet, and there's a certain number of people who are going to believe it.
And because I'm getting such good results, like everyone's going to think I'm some kind of like genie in a bottle marketer or something. But like I might not even be a very good marketer at all. I'm just really good at lying to people.
A good copywriter who some copywriters do stretch the truth so amazingly that you're right. The product doesn't bear any resemblance to the sales pitch.
Yeah. And there's no genius in like, hey, $500 every 10 minutes. This is so easy. Like there's no genius in that. I mean, most of these sales pages I'm referring to, they don't even tell you what the products do. Like you literally don't even know what's in there.
I guess they don't come in my inbox. I don't get those. I don't get those links, as Troy would say. Nobody got no time for that.
Yeah, they're very blind.
Well, you have to be kind of in that realm of that business type because it does exist.
Yeah.
And then there's, then you can also be on lists where you flat out are getting full on legit business stuff like, hey, this Subway franchise is available for sale. This McDonald's franchise is available. This new franchise is now coming that, it's be one of the beginning ones in the market. You know what I mean? So there's like buying a franchise, which you're not going to try to sell to these people that are wanting to spend maybe, hey man, I'm gonna spend the last dime that I have, $497 on this product because it's now going to give me a business, which is going to give me a lifestyle that's just push button easy. Okay, listen, that's what they want to hear, right? But they're more than likely I wouldn't say education, but their understanding of real business and long-lasting business is not that great. And we all have fallen, at least at some point, when we're starting a business, think that to some degree we could be that exception to the rule. So yes, there is the 13-year-old that gets going on YouTube and makes a lot of money.
Yeah.
But these are exceptions to the rule.
Exactly.
Or the gamers. Infinitesimally small that it's going to happen.
I hear the gamer lifestyle going on. Like so-and-so lives at this gamer house and they all make about $1 million and their house, it's a big house. It's 30,000 square feet. And here's what they're doing. I'm like, wow. Okay. Somebody is really projecting quite a lifestyle to you. And I just don't know that you can skip out on your schoolwork to be working in a gamer house.
Just like one of the most popular YouTubers, Mr. Beast, and on YouTube right now. I don't know if you guys have heard of that guy. No. I was watching a video of him with my kids, and he's running around giving people like $10,000 bundles. Like, here you go, buddy. Here you go, buddy. Just tossing it out like candy, like no problem. And yeah, I think you're right, man. I think it does kind of present a certain look that people latch on to.
Well, also in certain things aren't disclosed, and this is where the FTC gets into play, in the sense that, yes, Mr. Beast, and I'm not saying that he is because I don't know, but I do know that some of the gamers and actually other people that give away certain things are given the product by the company. So it's not like, hey, I got all this money, I'm just going to buy stuff and be cool and give it away.
Exactly.
Both things happen. Some do buy stuff with their own money or money they've earned, and then some are also, we'll say, sponsored, and some will say that, hey, this is sponsored by such and so, they've given me this to give away, and others don't say that when that really should be disclosed.
Yeah, very rarely do you hear them talking about, here's where I got this money. Now I'm gonna give it. So
it sui generis. It came out of the air, out of nothing. So,
it's troubling, man. I'm not gonna lie about it. It's troubling.
Troy and I have this conversation too before about, people who've had a real bricks and mortar business, who've been involved in sales, talking to people. They have an advantage of creating a strategic business that's built on a firm foundation and not all of this pan flash or flash in the pan stuff. Pan flash. Buy new pan flash, available at finer stores everywhere.
You don't want flash in a pan. Try a new pan flash. It's the next level.
Hey, what's everybody drinking, by the way? I have, it looks like vodka, but it's not.
Hey, you said last night you were talking about wanting something to drink, and then that's what you show up with today is water. Okay.
I had it was a rough day yesterday. But we've basically gone mostly keto here for the last 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And as a result, so I've had a total of 2 drinks in 2 weeks, and most of my stuff is water. And every once in a while I get really hungry, and then I just drink more water. I'm fine. But we are slimming down. We're basically bread free at this point.
How's that going?
No chips, no bread. And I think I'm burning fat in my head. So.
Dad's root beer.
Still Dad's root beer.
Dad.
Love it. I'm going for English breakfast. Little English breakfast tea.
Oh, see, that would be nice. I should get some tea, actually. I think that would be nice. But I do prefer to have one alcoholic beverage on a Friday, so under normal circumstances. And but these are unusual times we're in. There's no bread in the house.
Tell you what, if you look at the older guys in the game, like if you look at like Frank Kern, right? Yeah. For instance, Frank Kern. Look at a Frank Kern sales page. Like, he is very, very clear. Hey, listen, guys. Look, these results aren't typical. I've been doing this for a long time. I know what I'm doing. Many people who try this stuff, it doesn't work out for them. They just don't do it. Kind of like me with the treadmill in the corner of my room, and I never use it.
Makes a great coat rack.
Yeah, exactly. But he's real about it, and I think I think that we need more of that.
Speaking of somebody who's real, I found him.
You know, you ought to put him on mute, and he just gets to sit in the corner.
Yeah, I could do that
because he's late. He's late to class.
Timeout.
That's right. Kind of a timeout.
Sorry, guys.
Well, if I can shed some light actually on the Frank Kern situation, and then I'll give another example. Is so Frank Kern had the FTC situation. I'm sure you know about that, right, Cam?
Yeah.
So that's why Frank thought, or Frank. Okay, I know Frank, but we haven't actually discussed this. This is my assumption. Frank thought, you know, hey, look, I'd rather be more transparent than not, so that way I don't have to go through that again, because I don't think anybody wants to go through that.
Yeah. Even the beginning of a webinar, I'm probably going to sell you something at the end of this webinar, if that's okay with you. And so at the very beginning, he tells you there's going to be an offer.
And so then if you look at someone else that's also been long in the game as well, Marlon Sanders.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, Marlon Sanders is not, you know, shy about, you know, telling you the real deal and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And he still reaches an audience. And Cam talked about in his live stream where, hey, you know, maybe I might not make the most or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you still can be successful. And that's what you have to determine on what's, you know, more important to you. A certain amount of money, which again, I think, you know, it can set you up for being in trouble with FTC and those kind of things, as well as just your name, reputation. So how long can you sustain that? Because, you know, you're known then as putting out certain stuff that doesn't make the cuff or make the snuff or whatever you call it, cuff snuff, rough.
There's no snuff in my cuff.
Yeah. So, you know, that's kind of how I look at it as, you know, being you, finding your audience and continuing to expand that and actually educate and find those people that are really willing to, that this is this way that I look at it. Let me tell you my audience. So my audience is this. Hey, look, I've tried a lot of crap. I've even fallen for a lot of this, you know, 490 stuff, and I'm going to be rich, you know, in my wildest dreams and that kind of thing. But I've kind of realized that that's not where it's at. So what I'm looking for is something that I can do. I actually go for two markets. So I'll tell you the one part, or let me tell you the simple group for. So the simple group is, oh, hey, I need to know how to do that for part of my business. So it's not just a full business package, but it's a process of how to do something. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's those people. So they already have something going, but they like, I need to figure out how to do this. So it's more like a training material on adding something to their business. Then the other group is, again, like I said, hey, I've tried a lot of stuff. I just realize it takes work to do this. I want something that's legit, that I can follow, that if I dedicate myself to, I can have a producing business that can pay for the lifestyle I want and is long-term.
Yeah.
That's where I come from.
Hey, and by the way, we did see somebody pop in here. We should probably allow him to introduce himself. Aside from saying he needs to go into the corner for a timeout.
I think that was his timeout. So
who are you? Who are you and why are you here?
I don't know. Why am I here?
because I sent you a
put him in the corner again
a while ago saying, dude, a separate message for you because you're clearly ignoring the group message. So
no, I just got stuck across town in traffic, unfortunately. So sorry.
Oh, you could have done it from the car.
Not easily.
Just mount that thing on your dashboard.
Hey, John, how's it going, man? Nice to meet you, man. I haven't got to meet you yet.
Oh, we've never met. Oh my God, this is just such a special day. the last marketing happy hour of the month of June.
That's cool, man.
John, Cam, John.
Pleasure.
Cam is also known as.
Hey, nice to meet you, man.
And well, by the way, Troy, did you ask him about this? Because I want to ask right now. What's with the FATZ?
Oh, it's a long story.
Well, give it to us. It's Friday.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so so we go back several years, right?
Yes.
And I got this. And I started this YouTube channel, right? And I was like, you know what? I want to lose some weight. Right. So I'm going to call this YouTube channel Zero Fats, right? Because I'm going to lose some weight.
Zero Fats.
Okay. Yeah, just supposed to be funny, you know. So this lasted a couple of YouTube videos, and then I do a deep dive into a pepperoni pizza, and that's over. So the YouTube channel just sits there for I don't know, a couple years, right?
Yeah.
but at this time I get into marketing. This is probably 2010, 2011.
Yeah.
And so I was selling, right? I was selling on Amazon. I was selling physical books, and I wrote this book, this digital book, and I put it on Amazon, an ebook, how to sell books on Amazon, and it was doing okay, man, but it wasn't doing like the numbers I thought it was going to do. I thought I was going to be like rich when I released this little ebook for some reason.
You get
right? 2 Lambos.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be in the money. And I was like, well, how can I drive more traffic to this ebook, So I thought, well, why don't I make a YouTube channel and I'll talk about the stuff I'm doing on Amazon, and instead of making a new YouTube channel, I was like, well, I already got this YouTube channel. Why don't I repurpose it? So it was the Zero Fats channel, and I just started talking about ebook. I started talking about physical books on Amazon and all that stuff. And then, so that's kind of where that, and then, so what happened was many years later, I got into Facebook, and, they wouldn't let me use the Zero Fats. I wanted to make a new profile. I wanted everything new for Facebook. I just wanted everything related to business. I didn't want anything with personal, family, friends. I just wanted business related stuff on this particular Facebook. And when I tried to do like a Zero Fats for a name, they were like, nah, man, this needs to be a real name. a
real made up name.
A real made up name. So I was like, okay, Cam's my first name, so let's go Kam Fatz. The best of both worlds. And then the funny thing is, so that never even was meant to be like a nickname or anything. But then, I did membership programs, I did product launches, I did affiliate marketing, and everyone kept on contacting me on Facebook, and people got to know me on Facebook and everything, and people just kept on calling me Kam Fatz, Kam Fatz, Kam Fatz, and that name just went on its own. So it was kind of just like a nickname of necessity, because that's how people could see me.
You should trademark that one just in case, because now you have a personality. It's like a person in Hollywood being given a new name to be an actor.
Oh yeah,
that's his pen name now.
Yeah,
his pen name.
It's like that's my slash, right?
Wow, you need some merch for that.
Oh man, I do. That's
what you need. You just have Fats Club.
Maybe once I start my once I start my easy money button campaign,
easy money.
Start
that was easy.
Then you have to go by Easy Fats.
Yeah, easy Fats. Yeah, it'll change again. So, dude, what's the story behind these arcade machines, man? How did you acquire them? How did you come across these guys?
Well, I want to ask John what he was drinking first.
Oh yeah. Sorry. So go ahead.
I have a sequence. What is it?
Just kombucha. What is it? Kombucha.
Oh, kombucha. But everybody's non-alcoholic today. And we're still happy.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Right. So admiring Troy's background there.
I know. It's just like
it's still a work in progress, but I thought I'd throw a little something everybody's way.
Are you going to play some Prince back there, like for Purple Rain, or do you have to get that licensing? Or
actually, I would have to get that. That actually can be changed.
Change it. I like the purple though. Let's see, what else can you do? What other tricks can you perform?
I don't know. Oh, there you go. There's the
live broadcaster tricks.
Moonlighting.
I can actually change the colors, and I haven't decided what color I'm going to actually do. But
Paisley.
So the story behind him is I'm an '80s kid. I used to hang out at the arcades. So I was either breakdancing or playing video games. So during the '80s, in high school, and
did you breakdance for your first dance on your wedding or no?
That's me. Sorry.
Yeah, you.
Oh my gosh,
that was perfect.
He comes in late. He doesn't have his phone off. No,
I could bounce him. I have power today.
Okay, so just as as a dreamer, I've always wanted to have my own machines, and so I started making a list, of what are the ones that I want, and these are some of the ones that I want. Then they start, and these are actually machines from the actual '80s that have been rebuilt on the inside, but have all the original stuff. And I've got so you have the original serial number. So they were like in arcades and stuff like that. So they're not just a remake from from or a copy of what used to be in the arcade. These are the real. These are the real deals. So these are antiques.
You didn't stick any solar panels on the back or anything like that, did you? In case you want to play outside. No.
Or in case you want to move them and you get the high score.
Actually,
shake it and get the high score.
Actually, I got the third high. I got the third highest on Centipede, and I do have the high score on Pac-Man right now. But
oh my!
And let's see. Let's get I can actually crank it up here, so you can hear a little bit.
Oh man, that's fantastic! I remember those days.
So see, it's actually playing right now, but.
Guys, I'm trying to think of what arcade game I would get if I had a situation like Troy and I was going to do arcade games. I think it would be Double Dragon. I think we'd have to go for Double Dragon.
Well, yeah, I actually have a larger list, of course. But these are the first two that I got, and I mean they're not necessarily cheap and stuff. So, but it was just kind of one of those reward things, for reaching certain goals and stuff, and but it's just like again, like why did I get him? Oh yeah, did you guys hear that?
I did.
He died. He died. And he can't believe Pac-Man just left him hanging now to die, basically. So you can sort of see it. But yeah, so it was just one of those, like what kind of lifestyle do I want to have? And I'm like, well, I want my kids to kind of enjoy video games. And I mean, we played PlayStations like that, but I mean like the real school, like this, like back in the day, all we had is a cabinet and it was literally dedicated to one game versus a box that you can play so many games from, that kind of thing. And so kind of part of why, I have them in my background is because I kind of want to have it be like a little bit of who I am, right? At the same time, I mean, it is a little bit of a flex, you know what I mean? As the kids would say nowadays, to just show like, hey, this is something I've purchased, with the money that I've made, so to speak, you know what I mean? Because I do go, my audience is entrepreneurs and people that, want success. And for me, this is kind of a successful thing, you know what I mean? That you can buy some of the things you want. I mean, I could have bought a car with, with the money and stuff like that. Well, I mean, they're not that expensive.
These aren't just the spoils of your piracy.
Right. Good. These are not the spoils of my easy button.
Of your easy button.
This is the sweat equity button.
Sweat equity button.
No doubt.
So anyway, so yeah, and and there's different companies on the web that get the games, from wherever they exist, either previous owners or some places shutting down, or there's some warehouses they're just sitting in there collecting dust. So they go and they clean them completely out. Mm-hmm. They'll replace the power supply so that they got a new power supply, resolder the boards and everything like that, just so like it's about as new as it can get. But I mean, like I say, these are antiques. These are over 20 years old.
Yeah.
So
don't you have to be 25 years old to be an antique?
There actually may be an actual term or some kind of ruling on that, but I don't know.
No, because I remember the only reason I even mentioned that is because I remember back in Maryland when I lived there, that I was in the DC area, and to get an antique plate, your car has to be 25 years or older.
Oh yeah. Well, that would make sense that they set that kind of stipulation.
Yeah,
25 for the car.
I was going to get one for mine. I have an old Mercedes.
There you go. Does it give you any special status, like you can park in the handicap section or something?
When have you done a Mercedes special status? No matter how old it is, but
well, Pac-Man came out in 1980. I just looked it up, so it came out in 1980. So that means you're looking at like 30 years, man.
Yeah, right.
30.
No, that's 40.
That's 40. Yeah, I'm sorry.
40.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm way off.
40
wow, I'm
old,
20. Yeah, these are 40s old, man.
4 years old, man. Yeah, math is an important skill.
Those are your teens are paying them, so.
That's fantastic, man.
So, John, how old is your RV? That's my question for you. Now that we're getting off topic.
1997.
Oh, that's relatively young.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's funny, you look at the newer ones that are made now, and they're just made out of such awful materials. And like the 2008 and older are all aluminum bodied and really much better upkeep.
Cardboard, made out of cardboard.
That's terrible. The quality stuff is just terrible.
Flexboard.
It almost is.
Hardboard. Hey, says Troy, what back in there, did you do what other things did you do? So you got lights, you've got your lighting looks really good on your face.
So, okay. Well, Yeah, so I do have lighting here that I'm still working on. I got a soft box over here. We talked about this the other day, Dr. B.
Soft box
to diffuse the light more.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the other one to show up for this one, and I'm still gonna adjust those. That backlight, so that I have this kind of bluish right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna reposition that, but it is gonna just basically glow, make the back wall glow.
Will it cycle like a Christmas tree?
I actually could do that, but that would be. It's supposed to be a background, but yeah, that would be too kind of like annoying. I think it would cost you to
cycle it really fast. I'm still recommending a mirror ball for you.
Oh yeah, well,
and a little dancing queen, little ABBA.
And actually, the camera that I have, so I was testing last night. So I have a 35 millimeter that I'll be using, and I tell you, so like right now, if you look at any of us, right, we can look good with the cameras we have, but when you use a 35 millimeter, I look crisp.
Oh, yeah. He's so crisp.
It's like Captain Crunch. It's a huge difference. Yeah, Captain Crispy Crunch. And actually, then the way the camera does too, the camera blocks in kind of like pretty much like this, so you won't see these sides a bit. And then and it's also like I don't have this window fully blocked off, as you can see at the top, like some light coming through. That will be fully blocked off, and so the lights will be completely controlled by the soft boxes. And then what I have back here, and the camera will be adjusted so that you'll be able to see the Pac-Man, the header, and on both of these. Yeah. Because right now they're blowing out the iMac camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think what's great is if you have that limitation of the framing, nobody has to look at your dirty laundry.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
I don't hang my dirty laundry.
Where's that sheet?
My drawers.
That sheet probably hasn't been washed in months.
Actually, the sheet's actually going to go over on this side. You won't see it. Yeah,
we'll miss the sheet.
So, did you end up putting in any LED panels too, or just soft lights?
He's got LED with soft.
These are LEDs with the soft box over the LED. Yeah.
His soft
and
box
then this the backlighting is a LED as well.
An LED coming up right now. Nice.
And with it being darker too, that will the backlighting will be more prominent.
All the old school arcade game, all the old school arcades in town used to have black lights on the walls and stuff. They were always dim in there, so it's really reminiscent. It's pretty cool, man.
Yeah. So as much as my all my lives and stuff like that are about business and stuff, I mean, but this is me though. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of like. I want people to know me and like me for me, and if you don't like it, then move on. I mean, that's cool.
Right on.
He sure plays a mean pinball.
I actually do like pinball, man. I like a ball.
Get those little flippers.
I actually have a friend locally that he has a pinball arcade in his house. So
sweet.
Yeah, so for pinball, that's where you go.
You sell tickets? You get prizes when you win?
No, it's
not just the fees.
Yeah, so it's like I collect them the machines and stuff like that, and he collects pinballs kind of thing, or at least a batch of them. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Heck, there's a whole generation of kids now coming up who've never even seen a pinball machine, man.
What's a pinball machine? I had to teach my stepson what an LP record is. So.
Oh yeah. My kids know what vinyl is because that's the other thing too.
Vinyl made a comeback, but this was when I first got married.
Yeah.
It was like okay, these what's that? What's all that? I was like, those are vinyl records.
Vinyl records.
33 1/3. What you don't see are my 45s, which are gone, and my grandmother's 78s, which I really wish I had still. So.
Showing the kids the rotary phone was fun too.
That's the best. Yeah, they see those little videos where they have no idea what they're going to do with them. Even a push button princess phone, they have no idea what to do.
No. Oh my gosh,
man! I still remember being a little kid going over and hanging out at my aunt's house, and she had one of those old school rotary phones where you talked here and then you picked up the thing and went like this. The little rotary thing on
I would have loved that actually.
Oh man, it was really cool, but it was weird,
My parents were totally into antiques, and so they got one of the actual antiques. It has like the two little bells up at the top, so that's where it actually rings. And it had the mouthpiece, and you'd take the thing off and talk like this. Yeah. But the way they had it done is so you would open it up, which should actually open up in real life. So you open it up, and they had a dialer put in there. So we would we would dial that, and then this is back, so this is back when I
talk with them.
Yeah, so we would talk like this to people and stuff.
Yep. That's crazy.
So it's pretty cool.
There weren't so many live broadcasts back then.
No.
Well, that was your live broadcast.
No, it was the rabbit ears on the TV was the live broadcast.
It was live to your friend on the phone, and then you had somebody else in the house to pick up another extension. You're like, I'm on the phone, get off. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm on the phone, get off. I'm on the other extension, get off.
Oh, yeah. And then there was that.
My grandparents had a party line at a cottage about 35 miles out of Buffalo. And so I think there were like 3 or 5 households on the same number, which was crazy.
Yeah,
so you'd pick 20. That's insane. So I was like,
that's crazy, man.
Nuts.
Someone's always on the phone.
Wow.
It was my aunt.
I just found out yesterday that we got a bundled package back in December when we moved to our newer house, and it was Spectrum included voice in there, and we have not had a landline phone. I mean, neither my wife nor I for more than 10 years. And so we cut the cord long ago. I said, why do we have this? Why are we paying for it? And it turns out they bundled it together, and your internet, phone, and television for one package. And that if we refused the telephone service, it would boost. Yeah, it would boost the entire package by $25.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's time to get a phone. I mean, it's like because we have a number apparently. So
there are some positives to still having a phone.
I mean, yeah, but I am so old-fashioned that I still would really wish that I would have copper line coming in, because when the power goes out, you still have a phone. So, and you don't have to worry about battery backup.
I have fiber, and when the power goes out, I still have a phone.
Well, yeah, the thing about it is that I was just thinking for long term, because we had some significant blackouts in DC, and it was like, it would go on for days, and you'd lose everything. No power, no heat, your furnace wouldn't, the blower wouldn't go through central air and stuff.
I know that feeling.
Yeah, you know that feeling. So
when ours goes out, it's usually out for a week.
Exactly. If it goes out for a long time. And usually it's ice storms. Ice storms are the nemesis, so that sort of thing. So, but speaking of storms, are there any storms of internet marketing scuttlebutt going on these days, or are people just laying low and hoping to sell courses at low prices?
Thought I'd give you.
Thank you. I think I feel pinged.
I'll give you some Centipede.
Centipede. I've never played Centipede. My big game back in my day was Pong.
I grew up when Pong came out. Yeah,
with the Mac 2. Was it? No, it was the Apple IIc. I think so. Yeah.
Pong. Yeah.
Pong. I was good at Pong. And Space Invaders. Don't forget Space Invaders. I only knew Pong and Space Invaders. That was it. That's the extent of my gaming career.
I think
I'm gonna start doing live streams of me playing the games, I guess, right?
Yeah, you should. Yeah. You should. And then get a sponsor.
I'm gonna be a YouTube billionaire.
Get a sponsor so you can be the YouTube billionaire. I want to have with Ecamm Live. You can show your play as well as your facial expressions.
That's right. Get on Twitch. I'd like to see.
Yeah, you should be on Twitch. You'll find some really nice people. You'll find some beautiful people on Twitch.
Yeah, but that would be pretty cool, I think, on Twitch.
Oh, I'm trying to remember. In fact,
I wonder if anybody else has done that.
Who was it that? Somebody just bought? Facebook just bought one of the live streaming places.
Was it Son of a Twitch?
No. And I'm trying to remember too, because they there was kind of like really, it was like out of nowhere. They didn't really kind of announce it was going to happen.
Oh.
And so a lot of the gamers that were on that
got really upset.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so then there's all the people that are like, hey, if you're already in with the program, they're going to grandfather you into your payment stuff. But I would get a lawyer to look at the contract.
I would get a lawyer. How many gamers are going to get lawyers to look at?
Well, they're talking about if you have a serious presence,
okay.
It was like, not just somebody who's just thinking around.
Some 14-year-old in his parents' basement who's suddenly going to get Mom, I need a lawyer.
It's not a settled deal for the people who were involved over there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So what kinds of things are you guys doing right now as far as your marketing and stuff?
Good question.
So.
Well, Troy is getting his lights set up, his camera. John is reconfiguring everything he owns in terms of digital assets, including his website, from what I last understood.
Yeah. Oh, is that right? Cool, man.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of internal work.
Like with your bowels or something, or
no?
Oh no. Okay, sorry.
No,
it's
infrastructure. That's really what I wanted.
Infrastructure.
Not that kind of internal work.
Are you trying to move in a new direction, John?
Yeah, I did. I had a big health challenge a few years back, and so my whole business has just been moved in a new direction. It's kind of like I woke up one morning and somebody moved my cheese for 5 years. So it wasn't cool at all.
That's no Gouda.
It is no Gouda.
What is your old direction and what is your new direction?
So my new direction is very similar to my old direction, which is surrounding video, live video. You're getting your presence on camera right, developing audience, and I got back into doing more virtual summits with people, and so getting back into producing those and working on some networking events and virtual expo work with some different clients too. So
that's pretty cool, man.
It's an interesting direction.
What how does it differ from your old direction? Like what was your old direction? What made you choose the shift? Oh, I know the health stuff made you choose the shift, but what was your old direction? Why do you feel like you're shifting, I guess?
Your previous focus.
Yeah, no, my old direction was much more, I was really kind of in the MMO niche, and now I've moved into...
You want to be a specialist.
Well, I've always been kind of a specialist because I just kind of have this talent of being able to take unusual technology, put it together in unique ways, and make it simple for people to accomplish what they want with their automations.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it is kind of cool.
Yeah, John has his background from Rochester Institute of Technology, RIT, and was it imaging science or something? Whatever it was,
Yeah, so I went to school for all the satellite imaging stuff, and I got back into video again. But
so Cam, right now he's taking overhead satellite shots of your home. So
this is, and he's getting some really good close-ups.
Yeah. It's funny. I watch that stuff all the time and go, "Oh
man,
that stuff was just so cool."
By the way, Cam, there is one gutter that needs some cleaning, according to the
image.
So.
We used to do,
and he's now working a deal where he's going to have somebody come over and quote you for your gutter. A really good deal, and then he gets half the cut.
How did they know?
I saw it from space. Hey, I saw your gutters from space.
Gutters from space. That's a great name, Gutters from Space.
I like that. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Guttercleanersfromspace.com.
Space gutters.
Yeah. Pretty wild.
Well, dude, I will definitely check out your website, man. It sounds awesome. So
it's still a bit of a work in progress, but
what are you working on, Cam?
Cam, what are you working on?
Yeah, sure. So
email stuff, or
I'm in the middle of an affiliate campaign right now for this product about domaining. You guys ever do any domaining? Like
way too much in my past life.
Dr. V had to go in to get
I needed a 12-step program.
Yeah,
the 12-step program.
Yeah,
the 2-step program was Texas 2-step. But the 12-step program, I had to get away from it because I had over 1,000 domains at one point. So, and I was flipping some, but not enough to make it worthwhile. So,
was it like so? What was the negatives and positives, in your opinion, of that situation?
The negative was I lost a lot of money. The positive was I made some money and I learned a lot about what to do and mostly what not to do. That was my lesson.
Right. I ended up getting back into domaining a little bit because my friend Gene Pimentel does a lot of work on it. And so I wanted to find something for my son that I thought he would like doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're just kind of getting back into that a little bit as a little ancillary business.
I needed to .com down from that whole domain thing.
Oh my gosh. It's long before you had a lot of domains that you were paying on every year.
It was a lot of money. They're talking thousands of every year. I mean, fortunately, I got into a company that had very low cost because the more I bought, the lower the price went. But still, the annual renewals were just killing me. And finally, I just said, sell this, don't renew this, sell this one, don't renew that one, don't renew those 100, sell those other two. And it reminded me. I mean, it was far worse than day trading. I actually made money at day trading. At domaining, I lost money. And I'm far better stock picker than domain flipper.
So Cam, are you promoting a program or you have one?
Yeah, I'm promoting a program. I don't have one. I'm really kind of new to the whole domaining thing. I have never done it before. I really enjoyed this program. I'm not going to mention it on here because it's not, it's not.
Tell us once we're done, you can mention because I'll see if I've already purchased that one.
Yeah, I enjoyed the program, and and I decided I was going to promote for this guy, and it's been fun. And I think it's been interesting to promote it from a standpoint of not having tons of knowledge on the subject, but kind of going through as a student, and then kind of sharing my experience with the subject matter with my audience and my list. So that's been pretty cool. And then the other thing I'm working on this email product. It's called Email Fire, and I said I wasn't gonna. Doesn't matter. It's not for selling.
Is it hot?
You can't buy that right now. But it's basically an engagement campaign. People can buy this engagement campaign, and so if they're running a lot of cold traffic, if they're running they got a cold list, or if they got a list that they bought with solo ads or safe lists or anything else where people don't really know them, they can run them through this 30-day campaign, and it's going to warm their list up for them and get them ready to buy things. So, yeah, that's what I'm working on. So
that's good.
Awesome.
Yep.
And then, of course, I got the podcast. You guys know about podcast and just doing free stuff, top of mind type stuff.
That's your podcast and your like live stream stuff like that. That's what some of the tools you use to build your list, right?
Yeah. That top of mind stuff is really kind of the beginning to my funnel. So I do YouTube videos and podcasts and stuff like that.
Is your YouTube videos just the repurpose of your live stream though?
Right now they are. I have over 600 YouTube videos. I was doing YouTube long before.
Wow.
So, but still, I mean, look, it's only 16,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. I mean, which is
that's a lot more than my 29.
Well, I mean, it started out. There was a time where I was really, really good at YouTube, and I could really teach people how to be good at YouTube. But YouTube really changed a lot in 2018. And things just changed a lot, man. They flipped the script, and as you guys know how it is, that's how the internet is, man. It's always changing, and YouTube changed quite a bit. A lot of celebrities started coming into YouTube, like A-list celebrities and B-list celebrities, and it just, I mean, the landscape of YouTube has changed so much. I'm not making excuses or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, it's a different beast right now to try to succeed on YouTube than it was, in 2000.
I think any platform that ages is going to move into pay to play. So
yeah, that's probably true.
Well, I also think that it depends on what your goal for YouTube is. You know what I mean? Like I'm looking at using YouTube, but it's not for. I mean, granted, if I go live on there, and if you get somebody to give you a super chat or something like that, that's great and all, whatever. That's incidental money. Versus the actual trying to just get your face recognition, right? So brand recognition, then people to sign up to your list.
And the SEO. I mean, I keep harping on this, but my wife's they call the tasty videos. They're about a minute long or so, and they show you making an entire dish. She would just throw those things up to YouTube, and they have done incredibly well. And mainly it's because what it's done is it's given her more SEO. She's gotten Google juice from those videos, and they're super short. And she uses all of the audio, the free audio from YouTube. So she's never shut down on those. She had an episode though, using the same free audio that YouTube has, where Instagram sent her a message this morning, in fact, that, they were taking down her video because it was using unauthorized music. And then, but the video has not disappeared. So I think maybe they corrected themselves after they sent out that notification.
So I'd be curious then, Cam, like what your whatever average or just what your monthly views are. You know what I mean? Because I think you're still probably getting traction from that. So I wouldn't necessarily.
I
wouldn't think that it's like, oh, it's not necessarily worth it. I mean, heck,
oh yeah,
especially if you can throw your material that you're already doing on there.
No, it's worth it, man. It's totally worth it, especially to reposition and stuff. I mean,
yeah.
look, like when we talk about like a podcast, right? Like a podcast I'm doing like 2 or 3 days a week.
Yeah.
So the podcast is being distributed through Anchor to several different podcasting platforms.
Nice.
Right.
I'm distributing the podcast on YouTube to several different places as a live stream. And then the podcast is being distributed onto 2 YouTube channels. So, and am I going to have analytics that match the result I'm getting from the podcast with my podcast numbers? No, because the analytics is spread out from different places, and the only analytic that really matters is how many people are going on my list, how many people are getting
right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like if that's growing, in other words, like you're continually getting subscribers. I mean, I just keep doing the same thing.
It's good. It's not as good as it was 3 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, and I think it could be, but the problem with first of all, let me just say, I used to feel qualified to tell you guys exactly how to grow the hell out of your YouTube channels. But now I can't really say that that's true. I mean, I'm more of like a student of the game when it comes to YouTube now, I would say. And I'm not an active student either because like, I don't think I'm actively trying to grow that much. If I was, I would probably listen to like Brian G.
Brian G.
Yeah, because he's I saw him grow one from like within the last 2 years. I saw him grow one from nothing to like over 100,000 subscribers and a massive audience. So
that's impressive.
You know what's interesting though with Brian G though? I mean, he used to be in the IM game, right?
Oh yeah.
And I mean that's where he started out, and then and then he's been full of YouTube, and I've kind of like looked at him a little bit because I was like curious, like, well, what is he doing? But he doesn't really. I mean, you have to really search him out to find out what you can buy from him or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I don't think he's like living off of his YouTube money. You know what I mean? Or at least not the lifestyle that I know that he had originally, kind of from the IM market. Because he came out with good products. He did do solid stuff. So it's just kind of interesting. I mean, it's just a side note, but this one thing that I thought, I'm like, I wonder what. Because I never met Brian at any of the functions. I don't really know him. I only know of him. You know what I mean? There's quite a few people I know, and then there's quite a few people that I only know, from just some interaction. I mean, like I haven't even emailed him ever, anyways, so I really don't know him. But I just find it interesting because I was like, and I still have that question, like, how is he really making a living? And I don't think it's straight off of YouTube income.
Yeah, I know him, and he is. I mean, I'm not like best friends with the guy, but I've talked to him lots of times, and it's kind of reminds me of John a little bit. He was internet marketing. He came out with trust funnels and all this other stuff, and he made this decision to really narrow the focus down and specialize on YouTube and video marketing. And that's what he did, and he wiped the slate clean. He started that new channel. And I remember when he had less subscribers than me, and I saw him just like snowball it. But at the same time, I was watching him, and here's some of the things, right? And he teaches this, but it's like basically, with every video, try to get better. Like you're trying to get better with your editing. You're trying to get better with your background. Like what Troy's doing with his background, it's kind of reminiscent of Brian G a little bit with the blue lighting, and Troy's talking about using like a bokeh effect on his videos and stuff. And, I think that's what he's talking about. Get better with every video, strive to make your videos better, and the way you present the information, the way your videos look, everything, right? Just down to the SEO, the titles, everything. And that's what he's done. And he deserves all the success he's gotten because he's job. You can look at some of his older ones, and then you can see the progression to the newer ones.
Well, I think it's actually like we talked about earlier, guys. It's that he's actually taking it serious. He's learning the craft. He's testing. He's actually building it. It's like you said, making it better and better versus the people that are like, well, I just want to throw up a YouTube, video kind of set, and I just want to make videos and then just make money. No, there's more to it than that. You can't go, well, I just bought hamburger and I've got a, barbecue grill and now I want to sell hamburgers. Well, okay, how does McDonald's, how'd they get to where they're at? Actually, people are going to want fries or chips or whatever.
People do that in small towns in Mexico. I've got hamburgers on a grill. So.
Okay, that's Yeah, but they're also not.
They hustle. So
Yeah, that's different.
He's old school too, right? I've never ever heard him say this is easy. Like he'll tell you, hey man, this is hard. This is not easy.
He even he doesn't say it. He says it in the videos. He talks about kind of grinding in a sense. Yeah.
But this isn't like the Pitch the Brian G show or anything. But I was just saying, like, look, man, there was a time where like I have like 2 or 3 YouTube channels with over 10,000 subscribers and 16,000 subscribers. But all I'm saying is when 2018 hit, that started like the growth slowed down exponentially with YouTube, and it's a different game now. So it doesn't matter how many. I could have 100,000 subscribers on my channel. I wouldn't still feel comfortable telling you guys I wouldn't feel comfortable advising you on how to grow your channels.
Well, and subscribers compared to views. I mean, that's interesting because I mean, if I had one YouTube channel that maybe only had, I think it had 50 subscribers, but I'd get thousands of views. And so I was like, okay, well, this is really interesting. But it was all, I think it was from search. So
yeah, I think the biggest thing too is that it's not relying on, and this is why I've been talking about omnipresence lately, is not relying on any particular website or
no single source or platform.
Exactly. Platforms are what I'm looking for. Thanks. No single platform to get all your traffic from. You know what I mean? And that's honestly my philosophy is that you have to, get them on a list. You have to be in control of that, of your traffic. You know what I mean? If you want to have a lifestyle to where you can, again, create some consistency, you have to be in control of your audience. I mean, you can't just go like, well, I'm just going to get, this from, like from Facebook. That's the thing I see, like, people just Facebook, or I'm dedicating myself to Facebook. And I'm like, I get that. But again, what happens then if they shut you down for whatever reason? And it could be some wild hair, or it can even be an accident. And if you're down for a couple of days, like some people hear some of their ad accounts, right? I don't know. It's just like and especially with technology, I mean, it's so much easier to be on multiple platforms in many different forms and formats.
Especially in the future when we get the chip implanted in our heads.
You guys want to see my analytics screen for my YouTube channel?
Yeah.
So just to give you an idea of what it's doing right now.
Do you want to share your screen?
Yeah, I'll show you guys. What's up?
I'll see if I can bring your screen.
You can do it, I think. Yes.
I add it.
There you go.
There we go.
Yep.
Can you guys see what I'm looking at?
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is the last just 28 days. And as you can see, it's just kind of like, baseline, nothing crazy. You can see I'm still bleeding subscribers for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Because there's no more fat reducing information.
Yeah, no more fat.
No more zero fats.
There's no more zero fats.
Yeah, not to get too boring into this analytics stuff, but basically about 4,000 views the last 28 days.
That's great.
315 hours of watch time.
Wow.
It's all right. I mean, it's not that good, honestly.
Did they show you like the 3-second views or like the minimal views?
We could really go deep into this, but I don't want to.
But we may not today.
Yeah, I don't want to bore everybody up with it.
Good.
First off, Cam, stats to business people is not boring.
No, no.
If you do not want to share all of your stuff on a live, I understand that.
Yeah.
No, it's
but stats to business people is not boring.
People love it.
I'm an open book. However, in the interest of getting some people actually watching these lives, I don't know how much sharing my analytics is going to help.
Today we're doing the p-value happy hour.
Well, actually, that's an interesting point that you bring up, Cam, is that again, you're going to reach a certain audience that will that would be here for 12 hours looking at your stat stuff, right?
My wife would geek out with a screenshot of that because she's a stats nerd.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a smaller audience, but interestingly enough, like so in my group, the live event marketers. So I have a poll that's still up there. I'm wondering who is
I did not answer your poll yet.
Yeah, well, that's my second poll. So who's a Mac user?
The poll is who didn't answer the poll.
That's right. Who do I beat with a poll from not answering a poll?
Wow.
But
no pole dancing.
No. Yes, but it's so it's who uses Mac and who uses the Windows. Who uses Windows, right?
I did answer that one.
No. Okay, if you would just listen, you would hear what I'm saying.
Well, I can't listen because my ears are plugged up.
Squirrel.
Yeah, exactly. And he
bike.
doesn't even have any alcohol in him. That's the other thing.
No, I have the power to end this at any second.
So
it's a red button. It's not. It's an easy button. Let me tell you.
So who uses Mac? Who uses Windows? And there's a reason. There's a reasoning behind that.
Oh, okay.
Since I am on a Mac, although my previous Mac that now the kids use, I had both installed, and I was thinking about installing it here on my new Mac. But I'm kind of thinking of actually focusing strictly on Mac.
Yeah.
So in other words, like Mac software, Mac, how to do this, how to do that as part of my niche, right?
McDonald.
But that's also what we're talking about. So like, Cam's talking about, well, nobody's gonna want to see the stats, stuff like that. Look, there's an audience for that, but just as if I say, hey,
sure, I'm
going to teach stuff that will relate to all businesses across the board. I may also then discuss strictly stuff that's Mac related and how to, implement that, use that, and bring it into your business. Yeah. So I was kind of curious, but the interesting thing is that I found out it's about a 50-50.
That was weird to me. I thought it was much higher in Mac.
I remember the day back in the day when it was higher Windows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the next thing that Cam can relate to is he used to do I know he was doing his lives or his podcasts at different hours or earlier, right? And then he's more of an evening guy, from what I understand, right?
Yeah,
just like me.
Much. And I was trying to be a morning guy, but yeah.
Yeah. And so he started seeing that he was getting like, more engagement and more things happening with his evening ones.
It's true.
So that's the more recent poll that I put up is who considers themselves a night owl or who's an early bird.
Yeah, the sweet spot for me has been 10 to 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. So.
Eastern, interesting. Do you get any people from the Pacific Coast tuning in?
Yeah,
okay.
I do. From all from Mountain Time, Central Time, and Pacific Time. Yeah,
it's interesting.
So I'm just kind of feeling out some things, but interestingly enough, the more that you want to go niche, so we're talking about going back to Brian G, right? Like it can be scary because you're like, how niche is too niche, and it's interesting enough to hear some people talk about going niche, but then I'm like, I look at you and you're still very broad. So, I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
when people are you talking to me or are you talking to someone else?
No. When people,
I'm referring to some.
In general,
there's been some other marketers that talk about going like, the more you niche, and then I'm like, well, you're still kind of quite broad. So like,
do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, I'm like, how it's. I mean, I'm not saying that they're wrong, but it's still kind of scary because you go like, well, how niche, especially if you don't know the niche. Meaning like, if I go Mac, I focus, start doing my stuff like later on in the evening hours. Certain things that aren't maybe even like, okay, they like peanut butter. They like, you know what I mean? Like just some kind of things,
I think it's the Apple Fanboy Evening Broadcast brought to you by Troy McDonald.
I mean, I think if you
I wouldn't say I'm a fanboy, but
you're not an Apple fanboy. Okay. So
I like Apple. I'm not, to me, a computer really is just a tool to get you to where you want to go.
Yeah. Right.
I just happen to have it. I've used both. I like both. But that's the one I'm on now, and so
I like both. I just happen to have Windows right now.
Yeah.
And
I have Windows that bring in my light.
And just to reiterate, I still think YouTube is amazing. Like if if I was just getting started today, like I would still be on YouTube. I just like doing YouTube, but it's just a different game now. I mean, it's man, it is very competitive.
You'll be pleased to know, Cam, we are streaming to YouTube at this very moment.
Oh, cool.
You don't mess around.
You can repurpose these things later.
Yay.
Well, Cam, actually wondered, have you thought about doing lives to YouTube instead of doing them on Facebook?
Well, I like the engagement factor on Facebook. I think that the nature of Facebook being like having like that timeline factor, with Facebook, it's kind of like you're a slave to the timeline, right? It's what's happening right now. What's happening right now? By tomorrow, it's old news. Your polls. Yeah. If you did a poll yesterday, it's over by tomorrow. So it's definitely like there's a timeline factor with Facebook, and also people are the nature of why they go there, right? They go there to engage, they go there to interact. And I think it's just a little more conducive for live streaming, especially when, you don't have like a huge name and you don't got like 60, 80, 90 people on your live streams.
Yeah.
Go ahead, man.
There's already on YouTube, So I wouldn't discount that. So
I've done plenty of live streams on YouTube. I wouldn't discount it.
Did you use within the app, the studio, or no?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah. Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me?
Hey, no, I wasn't sure because John had said something, so I wasn't sure if you were talking to me. So for me, I was doing live streaming on YouTube directly through YouTube.
Yeah.
I've done it through OBS. And then that was a while ago. And then I've done it using StreamYard as well.
Right.
But just at this point in my YouTube journey, my audience is so diminished. I mean, I might have 16,000 subscribers, but I mean, I'm usually averaging like 30 or 40 views per video. So it's just diminished, man. So it's like, I don't know.
You can juice it up. That's for sure.
Broadcasting regularly should revive it.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it could.
Yeah. We did a thing recently. A friend of mine, my friend Ken Stone, is a spiritual teacher. And we started him broadcasting on Facebook and YouTube. He has a lot of interaction on both. I'm really surprised at how much I'd say Facebook and YouTube probably equally.
What does he use to go to both platforms at the same time? StreamYard. Okay, sweet.
I'm working at StreamYard.
I like StreamYard, man. It's easy. It's easy to use. You know.
So he's getting a new audience. He's really building it up on YouTube. He used to do just regular straight videos to YouTube all the time. I'm like, Ken, get him started streaming. He's like blowing stuff out like crazy. It's great.
Nice. Yeah, that's
so
cool. To see. I might try that, man.
John,
editing and stuff too, which is awesome.
John, were you going to add some comment about, because we were talking about like reviving something, and so I don't know if you were
YouTube CPR.
Yeah, I don't know if you're going to add something onto that with
paddles clear
with Ken.
Well, that was actually a really good point, and it could be a point of revival just by live streaming on YouTube regularly. That was a good tip, man. I appreciate that.
If a Facebook page has gone dead, there's strategies to revive your Facebook page.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. My YouTube channel, and
I really don't understand it, guys. To be honest, I mean, my God, if I put out content that's good content, not to be frustrated about it, but I mean, I just don't understand how I put out a video and I lose 25 subscribers. I mean, what just happened? All I did was put out a video and it has good content in it.
You need deodorant.
But
I guess so, man. I guess so.
The way I look at it is it's a great sorter. So the more stuff that you put out, the more people that unsubscribe, the tighter your audience is getting.
Yeah, that's actually good.
So in the grand scheme of things, does it really matter? You're getting a better audience.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't people hanging around. Just let them go.
I look forward to the unsubscribers on my wife's food blog email list, because I know I'm going to get more opens. The percentage of opens and the percentage of click-throughs are going to go way up.
I guess it's just tough, man, because when you've had a lot of traction in a place, you've had a lot of traction in a place in a particular niche, and then you're seeing yourself be diminished, and you're seeing people come into the space in the same niche that you're in, and they've been there for like 6 months, and they're like crushing it, and they're going crazy, and it's
the danger of comparison.
Yeah, but also you have to look at what are they doing that's different than you.
Yeah. Of course.
For example, if you're an A-lister, we're talking about celebrities, right? So you're an A-lister, right? But then you start falling to the B list. You have to do something to get yourself back on the A list.
So you don't fall to the B list.
I think just like Facebook is going to get, so I'm referring to YouTube, that it gives you more love if you're living into it instead of just taking your video and shipping it over there.
Yeah.
Right? So a recorded video that you pump into, YouTube, that's not going to get as much love as you being live pumping that into YouTube.
So just remember that live and love both start with L. And they're both 4-letter words.
And there's only one letter difference.
Only one letter difference.
That is true.
Yeah.
And the love has V.
Hey, you know what? You guys have convinced me. I might have to give it a try and go just live streaming to both of them at the same time.
This is a day that will live in internet history.
Subscribers, the subscribers are already there. So what do you got to lose?
Yeah.
Man.
Just ping them. This is just
a frustrating platform for me, to be honest.
It's a big old experiment at this point, just like all of it is. So.
I think it's frustrating if you make it frustrating, but if you find a way to make it easy, like my friend Ken, when I got him started on, he goes, "Oh my gosh, this is frustrating and driving me crazy."
Yeah.
When he realized, hey, I can just broadcast live. People will still love me. I don't have to do all this fancy schmancy 4 hours of, editing and making something look fancy.
Or these beautiful overlays.
Yeah, there you go. It's nice.
I'm sorry I covered you up, Troy.
Or the overlays, they cover up Troy. So
yeah, but we thought John wouldn't show, and it wouldn't have covered you up.
That's true.
And then the more that I do this stuff, the more I realize that I have to, like, for me to be successful, like, I really have to focus my energy in one direction, like whether that's just the one business, right? The one business of digital publishing and sprinkle in some affiliate marketing, right? And I know that most of my money comes from email. It doesn't come from YouTube. It doesn't come from Facebook. These are good ways to build my list, like you had mentioned, Troy. But sometimes it's hard to split your attention to this other thing and dedicate so much time, because YouTube requires some time to be really, really good. The kind of good that Brian G has gotten to, it requires a lot of time to get there. And Troy had mentioned where's the money going to come from? And it's like, I know where my bread's buttered. I know where my money comes from. And it doesn't come from spending like 8 hours editing a YouTube video.
Yeah. No,
but
do
I think
live,
you guys,
man.
Yeah, but I think you guys have good points about going live on YouTube.
I think there's a happy medium there.
Yeah.
That most people don't realize. They think I got to make all this fancy creative video that's outlandish and over the top, and I don't think that's true.
I know the long game is so. Yeah, you guys are right. The long game is there, man, and that's what keeps on pulling me into it, is because that long game, man. If you blow up on YouTube, you have a lot of stuff going on. It's going to be a big deal. You're going to have a lot of subscribers, email subscribers, right? You're going to have a lot of people going into your funnel, and everything's going to be like 10x basically because of that free television advertising, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the other thing, as great as email is to get your voice out to your audience, nothing beats video, because people get to know, like, and trust you like almost instantly.
Hey, quick question. What about video?
I think video is the compounding factor to your emails, because they know, like, and trust you. So when they get an email, it's like it's more of a connection.
Now, see, I disagree with that, and I've been doing video for a long time. But I mean, I totally respect you guys' opinion. I've been doing this for a long time, and I made a lot of money on the internet, and all my money is coming from email, and it has been coming from email. I think you're right. I mean, it's a compounding effect with video. I build a lot of audience with video, but when people make buying decisions, they do it through email mostly. And, when I get them on my email list, I don't have to get them in there with video. I can get them in there with like a safe list, or I can get them in there with a solo ad, knowing that I'm still going to have to audience build on that email list. I can't just start trying to push stuff on them when they don't know me. I still have to build that trust, like you were saying, John.
I bet there's a factor there, though, where people go and they say, hey, I really like Kam. I like his emails. I think I'm going to go check out what else he's got. So
there's no doubt.
Or a link within an email that sends them to the YouTube.
It may be mysteriously, or seem kind of mysterious at the moment. But
well, true. Yeah, and my reference was to, if you have all these areas, YouTube, Facebook, all these different things where you can be found, and they are then creating people to your list. It's the video stuff where they're already getting to know you. So then when they actually, that's what I'm referring to. I'm not talking about one supersedes the other. They play a symbiotic role.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Because it's always going to be, I personally see, or I feel that things are going to continue to get to more of how much do they trust you. Right. Because there's so much, again, like you said in your easy button video, Kam, it's coming down to people are getting more jaded. They don't, believe people. So the more that they know, like, and trust you, and whether that's through emails you've been sending out and videos that they see about you, and you're just kind of either omnipresent in a way, and they just get this vibe like, man, I kind of like him. He seems legit. You could be flat out lying. You know what I mean?
He seems cool on the surface.
But like I kind of vibe with him. I think so. They get your email, and then they're like, it's already like, I don't need to read it. What is he selling? It's his product. I want to buy it. I know this guy. I trust this guy.
He's a trust.
And you can only do that. You can do a bit of that in straight email that they've never seen you, whatever. Video tells a lot. And people are already saying, like, I don't like Troy right now, or I like Troy, or hey, I kind of like his vibe. Let me learn more about him. And they're not going to get, they're going to, from an email, they can't kind of get some of the stuff that they can get from a video.
I tell you what, I'd love to bring this up too. It's like probably not time to bring it up right now, but maybe next time we do this, I'd love to talk about the double-edged sword effect when it comes to video, because we can put people on our email list. They see us as experts. They want to buy from us. They know we're knowledgeable. But then when they see us on video, if we don't meet that perception of what they think a successful professional marketer would be, that might freak them out. That might turn them off. So it's a double-edged sword when it comes to video. It really is.
You know what I would say to that? They're not your perfect audience.
They are not. Yeah, they're not your customer avatar.
That's easy to say, man, but they were my perfect audience before they saw me on camera. So it's different. You know what I mean?
How much did they buy from you before they saw you?
Plenty.
It might just look like they're really your perfect audience, but I'm telling you, the ones who see you in both are the
Did
ones.
they unsubscribe after they saw you on camera? That's what I want to know.
But I think that's an element you're never going to be able to test.
Nah.
No.
Never.
No, I don't think so either. But I definitely think it happens. It works both ways. I mean, for me at least, it's worked both ways. So
sure, absolutely, it can.
And I love video. I'm not bashing video, guys. I love video, man. I'm with you guys. So
I'm just telling
you. Hey guys, Cam's off next week, just so you know.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, dang, he's still on.
I remember is this quote that video killed the radio star.
And it did too. And you know what else happened?
Killed the email star.
Hey, you know what happened when video killed the radio star? It started mattering what the musicians looked like.
Exactly. Less what they sounded like.
Exactly.
And then the studio producer could do all kinds of magic, or had to do all kinds of magic.
Where does that leave us balding middle-aged dudes?
Stars in our own ecosystem.
Yeah. You guys are awesome, man.
Hey, we actually went past our time. We got so enthralled in everything. We are 22 minutes past the hour, 17 minutes beyond what anybody expected. So
today was Friday's double dose.
It was it was almost a double dose, not quite. We usually go about an hour or thereabouts. So let's get some quick comments from all of us here. Troy, what do you want to say now that you're taking your gulp?
My gulp. Man, yeah. I mean, it's interesting. When it comes to doing stuff online, I agree, man. It continues to change and evolve, and you have to be willing to evolve with it. I know a lot of people want to find one thing to do, and I think that they should, and you should, but you've got to understand that you're still going to have to, go through the ebbs and flows or the ups and downs of it and the adjustments of it, because technology doesn't sit still. It's kind of like saying, hey, I want to do one thing, but it's like we talked about earlier. It's going to be that dial-up phone, It's not. It's now these, these ones you carry around like this, which is really a computer. It's with a phone attachment.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. So you have to be willing to do that regardless. But yeah. I mean, man, there's just so many things we covered today.
Do good things.
Yeah.
Keep in touch. Any final thoughts, John, as you look down on your phone?
Sorry, all of a sudden, it's weird. And my light turned on my phone.
Wow, what is that? That's just crazy.
I know.
Are you having an illumination on live video?
Shut my flashlight off.
I'm controlling your satellite.
Siri, turn my flashlight
off. Let's see. So what was I going to say about that? Oh, so I was going to ask Cam, how long is your podcast?
My podcast, so it's meant to be between 20 and 40 minutes, basically. It was meant to actually be a 20-minute podcast. Sometimes it'll go on for a really long time. Sometimes it'll go on for like an hour now. But the reason why it's going on a little longer now is because what I started doing as a way to retain audience and to keep people engaged in my podcast, I started advertising for people. I just started shouting people out, letting them talk about their websites on the podcast. And that's been a really powerful strategy, actually. And people really have enjoyed that. So,
yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time frame. I just was curious when I heard you talking about it. I tried to sneak it in a couple times, but
my goal is 20 minutes now. My goal is 20 minutes.
There's a sweet spot somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad we got to talk a little bit about YouTube today, because I do think that, like you said, it's a different world over there, but it still makes a difference where you're seen, and pulling all that together is still super valuable.
And I think talking to you guys today, and Troy kind of touched on it, is really, really, really relevant what you just said, Troy. I think that I had a way that was very successful on YouTube that was really good at like 4 years ago or 3 years ago. And I think that I just don't want to move away from that way of doing things. And it's definitely the world of YouTube has definitely moved on without me. So that's what I'd say about that.
It's the tube of you, Cam.
The interesting thing is, I think it's part of a human nature thing. The older you get, the more you don't want to change, in a sense. And it's sort of as cliche, but there is a truthfulness to it.
We're entrenched in our beliefs and our habits.
Yeah,
I almost resent having to change, you guys. I just don't want to change. I'm like, why do I have to change? What's wrong with how I'm doing it? It was doing great before.
I sold T-shirts through merch on Amazon, and one of my best sellers was "Change is good. Ask any baby with a full diaper."
There you go.
That actually sold. Hard to believe.
But it's interesting. Like we should spell technology as CHANGE.
Yeah.
And this is all, everything we're talking about here is all technology.
And this may be all obsolete in 3 months or 1 week.
I think you're going to see a lot of other places pop out for video. Like a lot of guys are broadcasting now, like a true TV station, going to Roku.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Starting their own stations and stuff there.
Oh, I'd love to get on Roku, man. Roku's sweet. I'm always using Roku.
And summits are becoming more popular again. So there's a lot more people looking to do summits, looking to do streaming summits, just trying to get seen with other people with the same expertise, and share that bond to get more subscribers and get things going.
No doubt, man.
It's a wide open area.
That's a good point.
East through.
Anyways, that's my 2 cents a day.
I love it,
Dr.
man.
V.
Do you have? I was going to give myself 2 cents, but I don't have to. I can't. So one of the things that I remember quite vividly is that when you look at all these different platforms, whether it's YouTube or people are doing TikTok, Instagram Lives. Don't neglect those, because I've found lately through my wife's food blog that those have just boosted her incredibly.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's phone dependent, and so you're going to have to get used to the idea of having one of those little stands and not having as much fancy stuff like logos and everything else.
Right.
But ultimately, it's about loving on your audience. I mean, I know people, for example, like Eric Louviere, when I have seen him in person, and when I've also seen him on his lives, listen to his podcast, when he sends me an email, I personally think of him as a real live, in the flesh human being. Yeah. And I'm more likely. Same thing with Ben Atkins. Same thing with James Schramko. These are people I've met in person and on video. So I think I would be almost like a super fan of all three of them.
I would be too.
That's a really good point, man.
So for me, it's that personal connection that video brings, and in-person meetings, which we don't have now. So we're dependent on the virtual summits and other things. So, I just think it's a question of, being old school is actually good, because everything old is new again. And if you understand how to reach people, how to sell to people, how to present to them, how to love on them, you're going to develop your audience. And, even your YouTube audience may just suddenly explode just because you're doing it fearlessly. So,
yeah. And even though you lost 25 last week, you're going to find 25 new people that love you this week.
Not just that, you may lose 25 and gain 120.
Yeah, sure.
And will you really be focused on that 25? That's the question.
Well, very good point. Yeah, it's weird, man. It's like with email, I don't care if I lose subscribers. I'm good. I'm ruthless. But with video, it's frustrating as you watch your channel slowly diminishing. It's like, my God, dude, what do I got to do with this stupid thing? But whatever, water, it's all good.
A little sunshine, a little water, maybe some fertilizer. I'm sure you can fertilize things, Cam.
But the thing you got to remember about video is that, what we're doing here right now, we're interacting with each other, right?
Yeah.
There's some things going on. with YouTube, if you're just pumping in a video that's already recorded, that's the reason for live event marketers, right? That like you don't know what's going to be posted in there. So what event's going to be in there, or what live stream is going to be posted in there. So that's part of a draw, okay? That you're like, well, I don't know what's going to be in there. But if you knew that when you went in there, it's going to be some video that's already recorded, you could see it anytime you wanted. You know what I mean? Like it's just another glorified YouTube type thing.
There's no urgency. There's no urgency.
So if you do live into YouTube, people could at least going to go like, well, hey, what's he going to talk about? And then a certain amount of those will stick for whatever amount of time. Mm-hmm. And that's going to help, again, feed the YouTube algorithm and that kind of thing. And that's the whole thing. Like if you're just trying to and that's what I see too many people do. They come into live event marketers and they're like, boom, I dump my event. I never interact with anybody and I don't do anything. And then I'm getting nothing from the group. Well, it's about the networking and it's about you were trying to, not do anything. You're trying to fool yourself in thinking that you can put in this no effort and receive this reward. Yeah. And people are wanting interaction and that's the interaction, meaning not necessarily chat, so to speak, but it's even that they know you're live, that this person is really on the other end doing this right now. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, while you still can get something from dropping a recorded video into YouTube, it's not going to do the same as you being in live into YouTube.
I mean, and just dropping the link is not a drop the mic moment for you.
No.
There's a lot more work to do.
Right. And you can't microwave a process. That's not a process that you can quick fix, quick cook, and it doesn't work that way.
Insta-fame.
Very good point.
My next course coming out.
Yeah.
Very good point.
Yeah, there you go.
So now Cam's like, oh crap, you guys suck. Now you're making me think I got
you're all bad people.
No, I think it's great. I think it's actually I think it's honestly it's kind of making me think about something that I've chosen to just kind of ignore for a little while and just kind of put on the back burner. You know how like you got problems and you're not quite sure how to solve them and they're a little bit frustrating, so you just kind of put them on the back burner and just not think about them.
All 99 of them.
Yeah. So I think this kind of brings one of mine to the forefront. So it's actually kind of good to get some outside opinions on the situation. So yeah, it's cool, man. It's very cool.
It's good stuff.
We should have started with this, man.
Well, that's all right. We can always. By the way, all of you are welcome. Once I get this thing done, you just repurpose it, edit it, and just chop off the first half if you want to. I don't care. So anyway, so we will be back again next week. This is 3:22. So we went about 17 minutes long, but I think you all got something out of it. I know I did. See, I'm just the opposite, which is I'm doing all this video stuff and I want to build an email list. So, we all think that our problems are worse than somebody else's. So all right, we'll be back next week. Stay safe. Next time, bring your beverage and bring more of your questions and comments. See you later.
See you, everybody.
See you guys.
Bye.